All right, we're here today, family. I want you to show me your body of work. Show me your body of work. And I told you, it's not of my power. This is what I came here to do. And this is what I will always do because I am living my purpose, helping people to live their greatest version. I just like you to remember this. Always check how long someone has always been doing something. How long have they been making videos? How long have they been inspiring someone? I want to know. I want to know if how long you've been doing this for. Show me your resume. Show me, are you an OG? I want to see your resume. If you are Taylor, I want to see how long you've been doing it. If you are author, I want to see how long you've been writing books. If you say you've been doing it for the last 50 years, I can say, okay, I can respect that. If you are athlete and you saying you've been doing this since I was 4 years old, I can say, okay, you put in the work. So I always want to remind you, it's you have to respect the work someone has been putting in, not just today. You have to go back and look where they first started. You have to go back and take a look where they first started. Isn't that beautiful? I see rainbows. I see rainbows. Everything is all mixed together to form what? Blackness, righteousness. Shouts out to the viewer who's on at this moment in time. I haven't even checked to see if my audio is coming through correctly. But if it is, could I get a thumbs up? Salutes up to Poem Praise too. Now let's look at something personally in your life. Why do people see the 1111? They see the 1111, which is the gateway from this dimension to the next dimension. You are much appreciated, much gratitude. You are much appreciated. I see you. So when I say you have to pay attention to the numbers in your life, when I look at mine, May 16th, 1 plus 6 is 7. 7 is rest. 1 is truth. 6 is good and bad. 6 is also a sign of Adam, black man and white man. 1 is also a sign for the one God. Then you got a 7 for rest. God finished and created everything and rested on the number 7 on the seventh day. In the Quran, it's the bee. What is a bee? A bee flies, define what most see is not physically possible of being able to fly. The bee is able to lift its heavy weight up with the little fins that it has into the air and the longevity, and then it take the flowers back to the nest of the queen. So the bee don't want nothing but the honey to take back to the queen bee. Now, a one is also reminding of being a pioneer, also putting what is most important first, making things that mean the most to you important, something of deep significance. People with the one prioritize family come first, children come first. It's all about prioritizing new beginnings. Shouts out to everyone who hears this in the future and in the present. A spiritual awakening. That's just a used term. But the truth of the matter, we are only energy here for a brief period of time. And as we wake up to what is happening, we see it's only temporary. When people die, people might cry, and then life keeps on moving. No one cares about how much money you have, how many numbers you had on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram. And within the next 100 years, people are going to be looking back at people who passed 100 years ago and just see the energy. We have a beautiful life to live. And we also should give people their flowers while they're here, not when they're gone. Give them their props while they're here, not when they're gone. Give them their credit while they're here, not when they're gone. So it's as if you know the past. You're living in the future, but you're in the present. How can you live in the future but be in the present? How can you live in the present but be in the future? It's putting the past, present, and future tenses, using them at all times. So that's a complete mind thought. Thought is time, existence. So when you have a complete thought of time, which is the mind of God, the beginning and the ending, the Alpha and the Omega, then you can do things in a more productive way. If you're just living in the past, you're not living in the present nor the future. That's not a complete mind state of God. If you're just living in the present and don't want to think about your past or remember your past, let alone your future, you're just living in the now, the presence. But you do not have a direction of where you're going next, nor are you knowing where you're coming from. That's not a complete mind state of God, mindset of God. If you're just looking in the future, you ain't worried about what you're going through now, what you've been through in the past. That's not a complete mind of God. You have to have the past, the present, and the future. So when you can see and think in that manner, your everything about your awareness, everything about your consciousness, everything about your rhythm, your your words, your thoughts, the way you see things and others, and how it reflects towards you, and how what they say is seen is in a mind state of God. You wonder how people can go through something and don't show the emotion that most show, because they have a complete mindset of God. Well, this is just for a matter of time. Okay, you may think this about me now, but I know where I'm going to be in the future. Okay, you may think that about me now, but I know what I did in the past. Okay, you may think about that it's going to happen to me in the future, but I know my past and where I am now and where I'm going to be next. So things that people say and present towards you as in a judgment call, most of the time, you're not affected by it, because you're in the mindset of God of all times. And the further you can think back to the presence of the existence of God, and the further you can see into the future, the more powerful of the mindset of God you have, because you are getting a more thorough understanding of your being. We were here and has always been here, just not in this frequency, state of mind, the state of existence, not in this dimension. We have always been and always will be. This flesh that holds our soul, our spirit, is only temporal. It's only here as a tool to show you, your spirit, your soul, the presence of God in you. But God does not need you if it wasn't for your prayers. Your prayers are knowing what? That there is a creator. There is a source that you come from. You did not create yourself. We did not create ourselves. Okay? Now, let's go into the ego. When you get into the fame and the high status of fame, you have to be able to be aware of your ego. You have to be aware of your humanity. But some people think because they have millions of followers, they think there's some kind of a God over others. But no, you're the same as them. You're not more than them. They're not less than you. It's you're being used on that frequency for a purpose with God. If it wasn't for your prayers, there will be no need for you. And this is part of the spiritual awakening journey. If someone meets you, you could just talk to them. You can't say, hey, I can't talk to you because I'm such and such. Hey, I can't give you this moment of time because I'm such and such and I got thousands and millions of fans and I ain't got no time for you. I'm just reminding you to stay focused of your humanity over ego, your insanity, your sanity over insanity. If somebody want to take a picture with you, what's wrong with you? I can't take a picture with you because I'm such and such. You have to pay for that. Pay for it. Some of the elite feel that everything that's done, everything that's in existence should be a price to. which they did not themselves create. Yet they want to be of a power over it, or a control over it, source to control it, to be a God beside God. You want you to purchase the land just to travel over the land, just to have time on the land, to eat, to grow food, to 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 drink, even smell, to drink water, to listen to beautiful sounds, even a quiet peace of mind, to go into the depths of the water, to look out into space, to breathe, wanting control this mind state of Pharaoh. But actually, they have no control. It's a want, but they don't need it, nor will they ever receive it. Morphogenetic resonance. How you treat the planet is how the planet treat you. It's science. So therefore, if everyone has a negative energy on the planet will have a negative energy toward you. If you treat the planet good, the planet will treat you good. The air will treat you good. If you treat the animals bad, the animals will treat you bad. There's a frequency in that. It's the same as with individuals. When you show love to individuals, individuals have to show you love, even if they don't want to. I know there's one in the Bible where there was this, I think it was Muhammad's enemy. And he got to the point where he was about to kill him. And then he became one of his best defenders. The love of Muhammad overcame his toughest rival that he had been putting out in his frequency over the planet. Love breaks all barriers. This is what I once heard from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan at the Million Man March. If you was not there, I'm sure you was there in spirit. It was a beautiful thing. I took all kinds of pictures, and I never took one picture of myself the whole time there. I mean, even before going there. We had been talking about it, getting prepped, doing door to door and initiating it all over the city. People were saying this and other people were saying that. But the day came and we was all getting on the buses. We drove down on the buses. We stopped on the buses. We rode down through downtown Washington, D.C. We got out. We even walked around the back in front of the White House. We walked down the streets. We marched down the streets because it was more than just one. But with brothers all around. It was so crowded. I fell asleep for a minute and didn't even fall down. We was just that tight and tucked in. And heard all the messages, walked around more. I even did some security out there. And then we got back into our buses and went back home. And when I got home, I thought about it. I had not taken not one picture of myself. But did I not take a picture of myself? I took a picture of myself among myself in that frequency, in that spirit. So even though I did not see my facial features in my this capsule I'm in, I seen me through all the other brothers that was on that mall. So did I really not take a picture of myself, or did I take many, many unnumbered pictures of myself? It's a beautiful thing. Now at this time, I'm gonna see if I can put on a little music for us, family. Hold on just a second. I want to raise up the frequency just a little more so we stay on track here. I don't know if y'all knew that Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, played the violin. And I also played the violin. I wanted the drums, but the lady gave me the violin. So I learned the basics of playing a violin. I did learn the basics of playing the violin, Mary, in about 4 or 5 different songs. And I was really good at it. I could understand it to the point where I could play the guitar with my violin and with those same tunes, even though it's not made for that. But I know the basis of it. And if you're not gentle with it, and if you don't treat it good and treat it right, the strings on it start to tear off. And it's because you're not being gentle enough. The violin is something that you have to be really, really gentle with. It's like a woman, and caressing her, and to get the right tone out of her, get the right vibration off her, the right frequency off of her. Well, I'm gonna let you hear a little bit of it right here. Let you hear it just a minute. If I can get this on here. Let me see. Here we go. Let's see if you can hear this. Now, if you heard those violins, they not was only being gentle with those violins together in harmony and united. But if you know anything about the violin, if the tone is off, it is noticeable, especially if you're playing the wrong string. But not just the violins in an orchestra. You have violins and all other type of instruments that must be in a tone with one another. They must be in harmony with one another to give off the right sound. And when it's a sound, orchestra is give you a spiritual uh, healing. It gives you inward intellect of yourself. It takes you in areas you may be in this area while another person is in another area of their mind with the same music. Yet, if you was to play off beat and you knew the song or the, the song, some this is more complicated than hip hop, but it's like hip hop. If you was playing the beat, do 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 do, and it was just off just a little bit, you will be able to notice it being off key. If it's just a little bit, but you have to be more in tuned into orchestra to notice things of that nature, as far as with the sounds. And yet, sometimes people may be a little bit off, but you may not even notice if you're not a professional. And it keeps you in this zone where you're not hearing words. You're listening to that inner self, those inner words, those inner sounds, those inner thoughts. If you notice when some people play the orchestra, really a lot of them, when they play in the orchestra, they almost like they're closing their eyes and they're zoning out themselves. Let's go back to it for a minute and just look at it. You can see their eyes, they're just like zoned out. See how they watch this. Let me play it. And even certain orchestras you hear in cartoons and things of that nature, and when you hear them again, it takes you to those time periods and you can see certain things. Then you have the songs, the orchestra songs that might be a war, but it take you into that like time period. But people will be seeing different things during the whole orchestra presentation, unless it's like something that they really pinpointed straight toward that. But even then, when you're seeing it, that person may see it, but they may not have seen it at that same moment as you. But then when you have certain things like with the Titanic, when it doom 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 doom, and and you can see the 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 Titanic going down, about to fall. Certain things you know is about to happen then, but you still not really on point unless you really watch that movie, have watched it enough to know that. But it'll also take you to those same, and you just start soaring through the movie. Oh, that's the Titanic, and I remember this part, this part. Doo, doo, doo. You start going through your memory banks internally. You're not talking about it. You're not, but you can see it. You can see it literally with your eyes open or your eyes closed. You can literally hear in the colors and in the atmosphere and everything. It's a beautiful thing. And just like the orchestras, we have to become more like that as far as a people, in tone, in our community. When one thing is off, we notice it. We don't just go by on it'll be all right. The song is gonna be all right. It's like let's go with the hip hop. It's gonna be all right. The beat is gonna, but man, that bad boy had a squeak in it, and the rest of the song was good. That's not gonna You're not gonna get the best quality. That's not the best quality. You have to perfect it. We have to be like that in our families. When we see something in our families that's not right or not correct or not straight, we must get to the point of straightening these type of things out so it will be in a smooth state. You don't need that, because that their self shows the quality is not perfection. And even though it's not perfected, something of that nature will make it seem as if it's definitely not perfected. But others, not in the hip hop and rap and things of that nature, they may see, oh, it seemed perfect to them. But those that are more tuned in, the more tuned in you are to things of that nature, like details, sounds, smells, cleanliness, morality, you'd be surprised how many brothers and sisters out here was not taught proper morals. Their mother wasn't there to teach them, so the TV teaching them, and they over here got Bart teaching them morals. They got Benny Hill teaching them morals. They got all these other things on TV teaching them morals as if that's the correct when it's not. And then they put it as if it was funny. And when it's not funny. So we must go back to the basics of teaching our children proper morals. Saying hi, greetings, even when you're leaving, how to leave with a greet. When you're around women, when you're around elders, when you're around men, how you carry yourself, how you talk to yourself, talk to others. The tones, you'd be surprised even on certain tones. Certain people be like, they jumping because of the tone that you brought it into them. The frequency that you didn't see no harm about it with the frequency because you're used to it. But certain people are not used to certain tone frequencies, and they would take it as more volatile when it was not volatile at all. Even actions. We have to become more aware of these things. We have a lot of schoolwork at home that we as parents are not doing the homework. You want the child to go to school and do their homework, but you or us as parents are not doing our homework on a consistent daily basis. You want the child to ace the tests and don't flunk the tests, but us as parents are flunking the tests. We don't want to go the long road with the father in the picture. We don't want to go the long road with the mother in the picture. If you cannot see yourself, I don't care if the man was a psychomaniac monster or chopped all his arms off and he looked like a fly on the wall and his face is falling off. If you can't see yourself being with that individual for the rest of your life with a child involved, because it's going to be the rest of your life. You don't want to see your child pass before you, right? So it's a lifelong commitment. It is a lifelong pledge. So if you can't see yourself with that individual, whoever that individual is at this present time, but see, you got to think in the mind state of God, the past as well as the future. If you can't see yourself in the mindset of God, of being with that person, no matter what, you should never get in the bed with that person, because you never know. Tomorrow, that person may lose their ear. Tomorrow, that person may get shocked. Tomorrow, that person may lose their eye. Tomorrow, that person may lose their hearing. May not be able to walk tomorrow. May be able to talk tomorrow. May not be able to listen tomorrow. May not be able to smell tomorrow. It's no telling. So if you are not willing to go the long road, even at that present time, you may be like, but then you really have to deal with it. You be like, well, but if you ain't even got that mind state of I can do it, you shouldn't do it. This is just an in and out thing. If it's just an in and out thing, you shouldn't do it. This is just 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. If you're not willing to do it, then why do it? Interesting, huh? Well, family, I'm just getting up here. I was going to do my poem the other day, and it looked like it didn't come out right. So I'll be doing some of the poems and things shortly. I'm very busy right at the moment, but I'm trying to get warmed up in doing these um, podcasts and on the SOA show at the moment. So I said, I'm just going to get on up. I just got up not even an hour ago, maybe an hour, not over 2 hours ago. And got on. It's nothing to it, just to do it. So I'm doing it. Yeah, and I hope you enjoyed it. I just wanted to make those things aware to you. We must be more in tune with each other. We must be more united with each other. We must be able to get to the point where you can see that person and know what they're thinking. You know where they're going. You know how Facebook and the FBI and the government want all this information so they know your eating habits, where you're going and who you've been with and what you're thinking and what we should be definitely like that toward our family. We should definitely be like that toward our family. Now, when it comes to your neighbors and your community, the more you are in tune with them, that's more of a God that you are becoming. When you know your neighbor's name, you know how they dress or how they think or how they react or things that you're becoming more of a God among your community. And the same as work. We must strive to master the world, but we can't master the world without mastering ourselves first. We have to start at home before we can get out. We have to start in the crib. Let me see. Sting the even further. We have to start in the womb of ourselves before we can come out and get to crawling and walking and talking and eating, and to we can run and jump and drive and fly. Okay. Till next time, family. Hope you enjoyed it. Keep your heads up. Oh, I ain't even had this up the whole time. I'm pretty sure y'all know my name. It's Orlando. My name is Orlando, not Orlando. Don't start with no O. It starts with an A. A like ABC. A1. There go that one again. A1. AKA Lando Shus. But that's not how you spell Shus. I spelled it like that for a reason. If you understand, it's even up on here. So us. So us. I'm nothing without us. I've learned everything because of us. I've done nothing on my own. Somebody taught me, somebody directed me toward it. I learned it's all from us. So when you see me, you see us. When you see me, you should see you. I might be doing something or done something or said something that you didn't see it or done or thought and things of that nature. You need to get past all this because somebody says the truth that you want to bash them upside the head and things of that nature and distort them and things of that nature and beat them up and mistreat them and do them bad when you ain't doing it but yourself bad. The picture of what's his name, Dumbo, came up to me the other day. I don't even know if this was an actual one or not, but I seen Dumbo. He was just saying the truth, and every time he said the truth, there was one they shot him, boom. The other one they stuck him, boom. They was throwing cannonballs and the thing ball with the sticker on him. But he, even though they was doing all that to him, he kept saying the truth. And then they even mashed him. And he came up out the clay, smashed, and still stood up saying the truth. Well, not saying we need to go be treated like that, but we should be standing up for the truth in that magnitude, regardless of what you think. And we have examples out here, but some don't even see. With that being stated, family, keep your heads up, stay focused, and read. Peace.